afternoon, class. Welcome to this session of modern organization and management. In our today's session, we shall continue uh, further regarding the types of planning. Okay. In our yesterday's class, we were discussing types of plans. In the types of plan, we had discussed that whenever it is a company or a organization, a business organization, usually there shall be uh, only two types of planning, that is long range planning and short range planning. Long range planning we also call as strategic planning, and short range planning we do also call it as operating planning. Then we discussed regarding what is a intermediate plan, what is a formal plan, and what is informal planning. In today's class, we shall see other different kinds of planning. One such planning is functional planning. So, what could be this functional planning? Now, whenever we tell functional planning, it represents the planning that is done for a unit of an organization, or in other words, it could be different departments. Now, usually, this functional planning it deals with parts, such as if we have to name it, it could be production department, it could be marketing department, it could be finance department, or it could be even manufacturing department. When the plans are done for each of the unit in an isolated manner, that is, those plans would be specific only for those particular department, then it is called as functional planning. Now, here the focus is only on the department to which it is concerned, and there is no any kind of unified focus for the organization as a whole. Now, because of this, usually those who plan functional planning, they develop what is called as parts mentality. Now, they usually fail to see the big picture of the organization. If there is a certain plan, and if that plan benefits for their particular unit, then they would be going with that particular plan. They will not consider whether it benefits other department or whether it poses any kind of problem for the other department. And also, there are chances that uh, when it is a functional planning, the impact of both internal and also external factors may not be fully taken into consideration. So, this is what functional planning is, how it is, what are its benefits, what are its demerits. Now, going further, we have what is called as corporate planning. Now, speaking about this corporate plan, it takes into consideration, or it puts a border around the big objective or the broad objectives of the company as a whole, and it usually either develops or plans for the entire organization. And especially corporate plans are one which are designed to meet the objectives of the organization in specific. Now, when we tell the entire organization, definitely it shall have both the micro as well as macro focus. Now, the various functional plans of each of the department are brought together and are, or in other words, they are integrated so that when it is brought together, it shall be able to meet the objectives of the organization. So, as compared to that of functional planning, a corporate planning is one which is integrative in nature, and also it does takes into consideration a long term view of the organization, and it will also bring balance between the resources that are available in the organization and also the challenges that the organization faces in terms of the environment in which it is doing business. And under corporate planning, it is always that it focuses on the overall organization performance. And after this, the last distinction that we can make is between proactive and reactive planning. Now, we have studied this over and over again. What do you mean by proactive planning? What do you mean by reactive planning? Now, what is proactive planning? Here, what happens is that now under this, those who plan or those who think, they think about managing all the future risks and the challenges that are to be faced. Now, in doing so, it shall always takes into consideration all the future changes that has to be made, and all the contingencies that the organization face. Now, plans are often, they shall be having a time frame tied to it, or to say within this particular period, or objective has to be fulfilled within maybe 1 year. There shall be specification regarding at what time it has to be fulfilled. But then, this projection, there might be many changes which might occur in the organization and which might, upset all these projections and calculation. Now, this proactive planning usually makes managers to stay alert all the time and also to know all the sensitive changes that is happening in the environment and how to keep the organization in track. And undoubtedly, being proactive, it calls for dynamic nature of the organization. Not only dynamic, it should always be active and creative at the same time. Now, instead of reacting to the events that happens, managers shall be ready with all kinds of alternative plans and actions which redefines and reshapes the future of the organization. Now, if in a sentence we have to speak about proactive planning, it speaks about taking actions today so as to survive and also grow tomorrow. Or in brief, if we have to tell, proactive planning, here the managers, they challenge the future, anticipating future contingencies and get ready with alternative routes for unforeseen circumstances. Now the next what we have is reactive planning. What is this? Now you in reactive planning, the organization, it simply reacts to external events. That is to say, now if an event happens, Now, whatever decision the organization will have to take, it takes only after the particular event has been completed. There shall be no any kind of readiness for the future things or whatever happens in the future. Now, in this, ever changing business environment or this fast changing world, reactive planning, will always prove to be costly for the organization. Now, that is to tell, before we realize what has happened, the organization might be forced to shut down itself. Now, we have our management thinker Drucker who tells, do not wait for the future. You will have to meet the future by initiating actions. So reactive planning is a type of planning but which should not be present in any kind of organization. Okay. Now these are some of the obstacles that can be found in planning. Now, it is also better to understand the relationship between planning and controlling. How are these two functions of management intertwined with one another? Now, what do you mean by controlling? Now, to tell it in the form of definition, now controlling is concerned with monitoring, could be employees, activities, and keeping the organization on track towards its goal and making correction as required. That can be summed up sentence of controlling. That is to tell, you continuously watch the resources of the organization, the activities of the organization, and also the employees of the organization. And you watch or you monitor with the intention that whatever objectives the organization has, all the activities that are being done by these people shall be for the purpose of achieving that objective, and in achieving this objective it shall always be on the right track. Now if it is not, then they'll have to make the correction. Now planning usually always involves selecting the objectives of the organization, and once after the objectives are selected, then finding ways to achieve all this, uh, yes, and finding ways to achieve them. Now controlling is that process of assuring that actions shall always be in line with what has been planned. Now, the relationship between this planning and controlling could be said in these different ways. The first one is direction. Now, what is this direction? Now, planning is nothing but they are the direction in which the managers are interested or intended or thinking of leading the organization so that they can achieve all the objectives they have come up with. And in doing so, controlling is always necessary so that the organization can ensure every time that results are always on track with the plans that are being done. Now, in terms of behavior, planning usually tells what are the behaviors and the results that are being expected in the organization. Now, in doing so, controlling can always maintain and sometimes it can also redirect the actual behaviors or the results that are prescribed in the organization. Now, the next one is regarding the behavior. Now, what is this? Now, it is the fact that managers can plan, but they cannot plan effectively without the information regarding the past and the current status of each of the department. Now, most of all such essential information can only be obtained through control process. Now this control process is the ones which would be helpful in providing valuable information which can be derived from past experience and will also help the managers to plan for the future in an effective way. And it will also help the managers to learn from past mistakes and also plan well for the future. Now, having said all these things, one thing we should know is that managers can never effectively control the organization unless there are plans to show the fact that the purpose of the organization can only be served by the process of control. And having said all these things, all this makes it pretty much clear that planning and controlling process they complement each other and they always support one another. Now, having said so much regarding the planning and controlling function, how they are interrelated to one another, it also good to know that there are some misconceptions regarding this planning and controlling relationship. Now, one of the misconception is nothing but a misunderstanding. Now, one of the misconception in management is that future, thinking about future or the futurity is the essence of planning. And they tell that controlling is nothing but you just examine what has happened earlier, or controlling is nothing but a post-mortem examination of past events. Now, if we admit, planning is deciding in advance what is to be done in future. It is nothing but you project tomorrow regarding some activity that you'll have to do. You project today some activity that will have to be done tomorrow. Now, it shall always provide a line of activity or a scheme for the future activities or actions. And in doing so, it will also speak regarding the specified results, what are to be achieved at what specified cost, and what is the specified period of time. Now, instead of meeting the crisis when it arises, usually the planners actually try to find out the threats and opportunity in the environment and thereby prepare the organization to face all the challenges with more confidence. Therefore, planning is not simply attempt to predict the future. Now it is also an attempt to control the future also. Now, controlling, on the other hand, is not just examination of past events. If you put it rightly, then controlling is the starting point of planning. Or, I mean to tell, starting point of planning is itself control. Now, controlling helps in the adoption of new plans, and also it will help in revising the existing plans on the basis of actual performance that have been achieved as against that of the standards that has been specified. Now, it does provide all the necessary information about both the past and also the current nature of the organization, and thereby helps the managers to plan for the future things. And that is how managers learn through all their past mistakes and can plan effectively. And that is how controlling helps in future planning. Now, having said all these things, it goes without telling that, like planning, even controlling is also forward looking. Okay. Now, here is one particular slide which can help you with uh, you understanding more regarding planning. That is, now this is obstacles in planning, or nothing but what are the problems that you'll have to face when you plan. The first one is unreliability of forecast. That is that planning is nothing but you percept regarding the future based on what you know, the past information, the experience that you have. You just try to tell what might happen in the future. So, it is always that it is being unreliable, because whatever you have decided for the future, it might happen, it may not happen. So, forecasting or this planning for the future is sometimes unreliable in nature. Now, then there are also chances that same type of problems can recur again and again in an organization. Now, one more obstacle is that it is expensive. Now, this definitely is true. Now, planning, though it is mental activity, though you sit there and do, those who plan, they need a huge amount of time. They need a lot of information. They need a lot of resources. When we tell resources, resources can also mean time. It can also mean the money that is there in the organization. And then we have loss of initiative, because here the fact is that planning is done by one, the doing work is done by the other. So there are chances that those who have to do, they might lose the initiative of what is being done. Okay. Now this is the basic of planning. Now when you speak regarding planning, you have one more uh, st- uh, one more concept, what is called as forecasting. Now, to speak about forecasting, it is one of the planning tool which is used to predict the future environmental happenings that will influence the operation of an organization. Now, this has been said in terms of a business organization. or to be very specific, now forecasting, it is a very systematic attempt to try understand the future and thereby recognize all the problems and opportunities and thereby turn them into plans of action. Now, usually this forecasting or business forecasting, it helps in analyzing the economic, political, and all marketing information to help reduce the risk involved in making all the business decision and the long range plans. Now, usually forecasting makes management think ahead and give singularity of purpose to planning by concentrating all the attention on the future. So now this is what forecasting means. Now it is not been specifically mentioned in your syllabus, but it is always good that you know what it is. So I have said it in brief. Those who are interested in understanding it, do a self work where you can understand what is forecasting. Try knowing the meaning of forecasting, the advantages of it, the limitations, what are the techniques that are used in forecasting, the methods of forecasting, and among all these techniques and methods, how do you select a forecasting method? Now that is the extra work for those who want to do, they can do it. Okay. So now the next thing that we have is management by objective. We studied what is management. We somewhat studied regarding objectives. So what is this management by objective? Now it goes without telling that the process of management, it starts with coming up with what is called as mission statement and also by setting up the organizational objectives. Now these objectives are the ones which gives both the meaning for the organization and also purpose for the organization. Now, without these objectives or without something for the organization to achieve, organization will always be purposeless, meaningless, and chaotic in nature. And therefore, it is always necessary that management should always come up with management by objective. Now these objectives are the ones which specifically tells the scope of future events. Now scope is nothing but the range what it covers. Now the objectives are the ones which also provide spotlight on the activities which activities of the organization and also tells how all these activities are organized. Now these objectives also serve as reference points so that all the resources and the efforts in the organization can be concentrated towards the right direction. Or as we been discussing earlier, it will always determine the actions that are to be taken today so as to obtain the result tomorrow. Now in understanding this, first we'll have to understand what is this mission. Now, mission is nothing but the purpose of the organization or the basic reason or the fundamental reason why our organization is existing, or it is the very reason and the justification for the existence of the firm. Usually, these mission statements would be expressed in such a way or in such terms of the benefits that the firm can give it to its customers. Now, to tell more about it, now it could be the mission statement of any organization. It usually states what it is, why does it exist, and one such unique contribution which the organization can make towards the society. So, some of the characteristics of the mission statements usually would be, first one is that it shall always be customer oriented. Now, the purpose of business is itself create a customer. So, a mission statement should always be such that it helps serve the customer in a useful way. Now, this mission statement will also be a future oriented one. Now, that is to tell, it should indicate of what the organization can do in the coming years. Now, this mission statement should be such that it should stand true for some coming years also. And one more characteristic of mission statement is that it should always be dynamic in nature and never be static. Now, it should always try to bring a balance between the narrow and the broad ways of doing things in the organization, and also between the present requirements of the organization and the future expectations of the organization. And one thing that we should remember is that wherever the mission statement is defined in a very narrow way, the new opportunities and threats from competitive world may be lost out of sight for the organization. And where the mission is defined in a very broad and general way, now such a exercise might be proof to be self-defeating. So it becomes important that it should neither be too narrow nor too broad. Because when it is too broad, the business might not be able to concentrate on any workable opportunities at all. So therefore, mission statement must be defined in such a way where it would be possible for the firm to take care of new opportunity and also concentrate on some specific areas where it might have some kind of competitive edge over others. That is to tell, this mission statement should be such that it should be challenging yet achievable. Now, if you go through internet source, you can always find out regarding mission statements of different companies. Do this exercise for today, that you go through Google and see the mission statement of different companies. You would be able to understand what it is and you can link it to the characteristics that we discussed just now. Now, having said regarding mission, so what is this vision? Now, vision is nothing but a very widely descriptive image of what a company wants to be known for future. In other words, vision is a long range one which is done for how the outsider of the organization have to see your organization, or how the business wants the outsider to see them. How should be their image in the eyes of people is nothing but vision of the company. So if that is vision, then what is this value? Now to speak about value, now it is nothing but it is all those beliefs, it is all those things or the ways of doing things which guides every move that one particular organization does. Okay. Now all these things we have. Usually there would be a lot of confusion regarding this. Like what is this mission, goal, target, standard, quota, or vision? Now, each of it has been given here, and this is for your purpose. So, when this particular PPT would be shared, please try reading it and understanding in knowing what possibly could it be. So, next we have this overview of goals and plans, or what could be this that we speak about this goals and plans. Why is it necessary that we'll have to understand the difference between what is a goal, what is a plan, or how is that all these elements are important for an organization. Now, in understanding this, we'll have to understand each of this concept. That is, tell what is a goal, what is a plan. Now, goals and plans, both of it has become one of the general concept in our today's world. Now, a goal is a desired future or a desired future state that the organization attempts to achieve. Now, goals are very much important because organization exists for this purpose and only for this purpose it exists. And the goal defines and also state the purpose of the organization. That is what goal means. Whereas a plan, it is a blueprint for a goal achievement. And a plan also specify the necessary resource allocations that are to be made, the schedules that are to be brought up, the tasks that are to be completed, and also the actions that needed to be achieved. Now the goals they specify the ends in the future, whereas plans specify the today's means. Now we already spoke regarding planning, we discussed many things. Now when we tell planning, it includes both the sides, it is goals and also a plan. Now to speak about planning once again, it means determining the organization goals and also defining the means for achieving them. Now, if you Now, if you see what has been present in your PPT, it shows the different levels of goals and plans in an organization. Usually, the planning process it starts with the formal mission that defines the basic purpose of the organization. Especially, this is done for the external audience. Now, the mission is the basis for strategic level goals or plans. Now, strategic level goals or plans is nothing but company level goals or plans. Now, these are the ones which in turn shapes the tactical plans. Now, tactical plans could also mean the divisional plans and also the operational plans or but the departmental level plans. Now, the top managers they are typically responsible for establishing all these strategic goals and plans which reflect a commitment to both organizational efficiency and also for organizational effectiveness. Now, these tactical goals and plans are the ones which are responsibility of middle managers. Now, middle managers could mean people such as heads of major divisions or functional units. Now, a divisional manager will usually formulate tactical plans. And a divisional manager will formulate a tactical plan which usually focuses on the major activities that are to be completed by divisions or each of the functions. Now, operational plans are the ones which identifies the specific procedures or the process that is needed at the lower levels of the organization, such as could be each of the individual department or each of the individual employees. Now, usually the frontline managers and supervisors they develop operational plans which focus on the specific task and the purpose and that help to tactical and strategical goals. Now, planning at each level will always support the other level of organization. So now what is this? What is the purpose of goals and plans? Now it goes without telling that the complexity of today's environment and uncertainty about the business environment usually make the work of managers very challenging and they might result in result in them to focus on operational issues or short term results rather than thinking for long term goals and plans. But having said that, planning generally positively affects a company's performance. Now, in addition to improving financial and operational performance, developing different goals and plans at each level is important because of the external and internal message that these goals and plans send. Now the message go to both external and internal audience and prove to be important for the organization. Now, what are the benefits that the organization has because of the goals? The first one is regarding the legitimacy. Now, any organization mission, it describes what the organization stands for and it also tells the reasons for its existence. Now, usually it represents legitimacy to all the external people or the audience, like maybe the investors, the customers, the suppliers, and also local community. Now, the mission helps them look on the company in a very favorable way. Now, it is always expected that the companies will always have to see to that their reputation, as evidenced by recent, as evidenced by the way they do their work. Now, always a strong mission will have an impact on employees and also will make them become committed to organization, as these employees they identify the overall purpose and also reason for the existence of the organization to which they work for. Now the next one is, it is a source of motivation. Now goals and plans usually facilitates employees identification with the organization and also will always help them motivate by reducing any kind of uncertainty that is present, and also it does clarify what they will have to achieve. Now, if at all there is, lack of clarity in goals, now it can always damage employee motivation and commitment of the employees, because people do not understand what they are working towards. Now, whereas a goal provides the why of an organization or the existence of the subunits, a plan will always tell how it has to be done. Now, a plan lets employees know what actions to undertake to achieve the goal. Now, the next one is resource allocation. Now, goals usually helps manager to decide where they need to allocate resource, such as it could be the employees, the money, and even the equipment also. And it also guides the action. Now, goals and plans usually provide a sense of direction. Now, they focus attention on the specific targets and also direct employee efforts towards important outcomes. And it is a rationale for decision, that is to tell, through goal setting and planning managers will always learn what the organization is trying to accomplish. Now they can make decision to ensure that internal policies, roles, performance, could it be the structure, the product, and even the expenditures will be made in accordance with what is desired or what the organization wants to achieve. Now, decisions throughout the organization will be an alignment when an organization does a very good plan. Now it also acts as standard of performance. Now because goals define desired outcomes for the organization, they also serve as a performance criteria. They also provide a standard of assessment. Now the overall planning process, it usually prevents managers from thinking merely in terms of day-to-day activities, and when organization drift away from goals and plans, we can tell they'll simply fall into the trap of trouble. So until this is enough for today.